Good morning and thank you for joining. So, we have covered a decent content in terms of understanding the Pega product, right? Yesterday, we understood what is packaging all about. The code we developed has to be moved from a given environment. For example, you develop the code in development environment, and then you should be able to successfully move that or send it further to QA for quality assurance testing, and from testing to UAT, which is user acceptance testing, where users are going to test, and then from there to the production environment. And that can be achieved by creating a package, which is nothing but a product rule in Pega. It is also called as rule admin product rule or the wrap rule. We understood that, right? Rule admin product wrap rule. We created one and we understood that. Today, we'll go one step further from what we have learned, and we will look at what is rule set. What are rule sets in Pega? Rule sets in Pega. So, did we see that rule sets were existing, like whenever we tried to create a application like a rule, we saw that the rule was going and sitting into a rule set? Yes or no? Did we see that? Right, whenever we created a rule, it was giving us the option. Of course, it was asking us which class you want to save in. We used to usually choose the work class, but along with that there are two other drop downs which we used to populate. Let us see that again. I'm logging into the system to verify that. So rule set is nothing but it's a container. It's a container for what? For rules. All the rules you created were going as part of alpha auto 010101. We saw that. Yes or no? Every time we created any rule, it was going as part of alpha auto 010101. Yes or no? Right? Okay. While this is loading. So these rule sets are nothing but they are containers. Like all the rules you create has to go and sit in a rule set version. That's the mandate. All the rules you create should go and sit in a rule set version. That's the mandate. Okay. And what do they have? They have a name and they have a version, which we have seen when we have created. We saw that every time we created it as part of a rule set. So the rule set name for our application, something which we used was alpha auto. Alpha auto was the rule set name we used, and version was 01-01-01. By default, Pega creates it. By default, Pega creates a version. Pega creates a version. Let us try to verify that, right? So now I am in my developer studio. For example, let me open one of the rules. Let me go to my work class and open, for example, technical, and I'll expand some activity and agency map activity. If you see, in this particular rule, when we try to verify, this is part of rule set alpha auto 01-01-01. Yes or no? See guys, when I try to click on that, it should open me that rule set. See, the rule set rule is part of sysadmin category. The sysadmin category has rule set and rule set version in it. From the records explorer, when you go to sysadmin category, you should be able to find rule sets. Yes or no? This should give you a list of all the rule sets available in this particular Pega instance. Alpha int integration related stuff goes and sits here. Alpha. This is the organization level rule set which got created. We are using alpha auto. Yes or no? See, we use alpha auto across most of the all the rules we created went into this. If you want to verify, you can open that rule set from here. See, this is the form which will come up, and when you try to click on all the rules, see, only one row is there, 0 1 0 1 0 1. If you see here, only 0 1 0 1 0 1 is there. Yes or no, guys? All the functionalities you create, will be going and sitting inside this particular rule set. See, these are the rules you have created. Agent map activity, part of this particular rule set. Child activity, part of this rule set. Custom save activity, part of this rule set. Custom search activity, part of this rule set. These are all the rules which are present in this rule set. See, alpha auto 0 1 0 1 0 1. See, and then you see when they were created, 23 days ago, 24 days ago. So all the rules which you have created are going to this particular rule set, and they are sitting. Why? Because these are the containers for rules. All the rules you create are going to go and sit into this particular rule set version. Here the rule set name is alpha auto and the version is 010101. Does it make sense, guys? See, alpha auto rule set version. Any new functionality you have to add, you will have to add a rule to the rule set version. Yes or no? Any change we did, we created a new rule, and then that rule is going and sitting inside this particular rule set version. So this rule set version by default Pega has created as when we created the application, Pega created and gave us this. So our application rule set version is this. Very important. Focus here. Alpha auto colon 010101. This is what Pega created by default. So the default version it created is 010101. In this thing, the first 01 here is the major version. The second 01 is minor version. The last one is, or the third one is patch version. This is exactly similar to if you see your phones, often once in a month or sometime Android will tell you there is a software to be installed, there is a patch to be installed. Don't we get such notifications? If you're using iPhones, it's very often you'll see that, oh, 13.01 is released, 13.02 is released, stuff like that. Haven't we seen this, guys? Yes, no. In your cell phones, whenever your application, if you go to your application manager, it will tell you, oh, this particular app is out of date, there is a new version available, update it. Do we see that? Same thing, the same way Pega also handles all its new features based on these versions. This will be the base version. Whatever we have created so far is part of this particular rule set version. Yes or no? Yesterday we created a package out of it and we locked this rule set. Did we do that yesterday while packaging? So versioning is like this: 010101. This is the major version. The second piece is the minor version. Last one is the patch version. So the increments are always like this. When I create a new version, now 01 hyphen 01 hyphen 02. This is how the increment will happen. This will happen till how long? Till 01 hyphen 01 hyphen 99. This keeps on going. If I keep adding, clicking add, it will be creating one increment to it till 99. As soon as it reaches 99, the next version will be 01 hyphen 02 hyphen 01. Make sense? So when will I get the next major version? The next major version will come after 01 hyphen 09, sorry, 01 hyphen 99 hyphen 99. After this, I'll be getting the next major version, which is 02 hyphen 01 hyphen 01. And this thing will go on till 99 hyphen 99 hyphen 99. Make sense, guys? So right now, let us say I want to add a new activity. Let us say I want to add a new activity to this particular work class. I'll right click, say technical category, and come on. Let's say I want to add an activity just for the namesake. I won't create it. Just see how the options will be different. Let me give it test. Okay. Let us say it is part of Alpha Auto Insurance. Do you see? Applies to classes this. No rule set versions available. Are we able to see any rule set versions available here? No. But previously when we created, we always saw Alpha Auto as rule set and the version as 010101. Yes or no? We are not seeing it. Why do you think this issue is coming? We have locked that rule set version. We locked that rule set version because of which it is not appearing. So this is, let us assume whatever we developed so far was part of, the first build. The first release was this thing 010101. We already completed our first release and we pushed that code to QA. Now any change which has to happen has to go into the new version. So how will we know what rule set to modify? For example, if you are new to the application, you want to know what all rule sets are present as part of your application. You can figure that out. How can I figure that out? Just go to your application on the top header bar. Click on overview. Sorry. Go to the header bar. Click on definition. Now this will open the application rule. Yes or no? Alpha Auto is my application. And if you see on the right hand side, there is something called as application rule sets. Are we able to see that? Are we able to see? All I did was came to application, clicked definition. It's showing me application rule sets. Now if I want to see what rule sets I have to modify or I have to create my rules in, I see that the first one is alpha auto hyphen colon 0101. Major version, minor version. You don't have to specify patch. If you don't specify patch, all the versions it will be considering. If you don't specify patch here, it will be considering all the versions. If you specify patch, it will be considering only that version and whatever is below that, like that. Perfect. So to open that, just click on this ring and this should take us back to our alpha auto rule set version. Did it bring us here to the rule set? In any new application, when you go to see what is the rule set they are working on, you can verify that from the application definition. You can see what all rule sets are there here. Perfect. Is it understood, guys? Perfect. Now if I have to modify any change, it has to be part of the new rule set, new version actually. Okay, I'll leave this. So I am not able to create a new activity. See, if I try to click create, it should throw me an error. This record has one error in place. No open rule set versions available is what it is telling. Perfect. So what we will do, we'll go back to our rule set, which is alpha auto rule set, which can be accessed from sysadmin category from the records explorer, as well as from the application. From the application also, for example, if I close this guy, see, I closed it. Okay. Now if I have to again open it, I can come to the application, click on this. It will be opening the most latest version. See? Now I only have one rule set version here. So what I can do, I can add another rule set version here. Just click on this plus and then this should help you add a new rule set version. See? What is the next version it is giving? See? And description you can give whatever you want. You can call it alpha sprint release to create. See? If you see this as open, that means this rule set version is open and available for usage. Save this. This rule set is open and available for usage. How many rules does this particular rule set have so far? 0. We haven't created anything under that. All that we had created is part of this particular rule set version which we have packaged, and we are done with that. We have given this to QA for testing. Any new rules you have to add, any functionality you have to add it in the new rule set version. That's what we are trying to do here. And if you see the version, the next immediate version is 010102. Yes or no? Perfect. So it's always good to lock the previous version before adding a new version. Yesterday we already locked, so no need to worry here. But it's desired. Why? Because few people might, while saving, they might save stuff in the previous version, which shouldn't happen. So it is advisable to lock the previous version. But for some reason, for some requirement in your project, if you want to keep it open, that is fine also. But it is advised or better or best practice to lock it. That's it. That's what it means. Perfect. So we added a new version. Now, what we can do we understand once the rule set is locked, we can't add any rules to it? We saw that here, right? Because the rule set is locked, you can't add any rules, any new rules to it. A locked version, we cannot update any existing rule or anything there. Yes or no? Neither can I update this particular rule. For example, if you see this rule, agency map activity, can I update it? I can add step, but you see there is no save option. There is save as, but there is no save option. Why? Because that rule set is locked. Once that rule set is locked, you can't modify this rule. Of course, you can save as this rule in a new rule set version and then you can modify. But in the same rule set version, same activity can't be modified until unless you unlock the rule set. Do we agree? Right, perfect. So these are few important things which you should remember. In a locked rule set, you can't modify anything. It has to be unlocked. Okay. And whenever you try to create, Pega will automatically pick the latest version. So now if I try to create and open, see, it is saying no open rule set available. But now because system understood, oh, there is a new version available, it is giving you a prompt. Are we able to see that? Yes or no, guys? So for tracking purpose, what Pega does is, for example, I can create and open this now. Some test rule I created and I'll say save. If you see, a test activity got created, got saved, but there is no you can't secure this without using the securing option from Pega side. What does that mean? If I have to modify, I just have to click here and then let us say in a team, do you think you will be the only developer working? No, right? There can be chances that the same rule needs to be modified by multiple people. Does it make sense? For example, operator admin at alpha, right? So let me do a save as and create another user called dev at alpha. Okay, I'll help you understand very clearly so you guys are sure about what we are talking about. Let me take this guy. Oh. Going to a different browser. You guys are able to see the screen, right? Okay, now I'll log in as dev at alpha. Password is rules. Most of the username and passwords, the passwords for usernames in Pega will be rules. So when you don't know, just try rules, it will work. See, now I'm into developers, dev at alphas, access. I have logged in as dev at alpha. Let me go to dev studio. So we have the test rule here. See the test activity here. Let us say I'm modifying, I'm saying page hyphen new, and I'm telling okay, test page. Okay, and I'm modifying this thing. I'm saying save, saying specify something in pages and classes is what it's saying. At the same time, for example, another user, let us say see, this is a new activity which got created. Let us say he is also modifying this. See the changes that user is doing and this user also is doing. But how will the same work? How will the same work here? You won't have accountability. Yes or no? Right? Won't it make sense that at one point, for example, if that user, the admin user is modifying, this user when he tries to access this rule, he gets a message telling that sorry, currently that rule is being modified by that person, right? Doesn't it make sense? So Pega gives us that option also to make sure the rule set is secure, in the sense if multiple people are trying to modify this particular rule set, this particular rule, the first user to open that rule and modify will get a lock on that particular rule. Does it make sense? Okay, let us see how we can implement that. To implement that, what do we call that is something called as securing a rule set. How can we do it? Go back to your rule set, which is here, right? And if you click on security, there is an option use checkout. Are we able to see that? That is disabled by default. You have to explicitly check that. You have to explicitly check that rule. Save. Now go back to this test rule and just let us refresh it. Let me close this. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay. So these were the options available right now. Delete, actions, and save. Are we on same page? When we open any rule, the options available were delete, actions, and save were what was available. Now once we have done that change, see how the rule looks. Open this test rule. Do you see any additions there, guys? Do we see addition of a checkout button there? See? You see a checkout button. In the same way, when you open a existing rule, right now it is showing like this, right? Just close and open. See, only two options are here. Okay. Now I will open the agency map activity. There is a private edit here. Check in and check out on any rule helps you with parallel development in the sense at the same time many users can do development parallelly because check in and check out is there. Whenever a user checks out, for example, the user has not checked out this rule yet. Let us say I'll go here and right now that change is not reflecting here, right? Let us do we see refresh here? No, I think here I should have a refresh. Let me refresh and I should see the checkout rule option. Does it make sense? Perfect. Before that, let me modify the name. I haven't modified the name for this guy. It is also coming as admin. I call it dev. Okay. So now when I come to dev, I'm inside the dev user. Now let us say I'm checking this out. In the sense, what I'm telling Pega is, hey Pega, I want to work on this rule. Don't let anyone else because I want to have a lock on this. Till I complete my changes, no one else should be able to modify this is what I'm saying. Okay, that's what I'm saying here. Nothing else. So I have checked this out. Now let us see if this user can modify that rule, right? The test rule. Refresh it. See, do you see what's the option it is getting? He's getting private edit. He's not getting checkout anymore. Why? Because the rule is locked by someone else. Do you see when you click on that lock, what is it telling? This record was checked out by dev at alpha less than a minute ago. Does it make sense, guys? How you can stop others from modifying the rule which you are changing? Yes, no. Ideally, most of the applications will already have this enabled, but you need to know all these things. These are basics. So for example, if I'm putting my change in this guy, I'm saying, I'll just put a comment here. Dev did, dev guy did changes. Okay. And then I'm saying check in. When you check in, you have to give a comment. What are the comments? So this is where you'll be coming comments. This is justification because you're using activity. Just say WIP. WIP means work in progress. I'm just saying work in progress and check in. See, now you checked in that change. Now this rule is available for anyone to check out and work on. When you try to refresh this rule, see what you will see now. You will see that guy's changes and you'll also see the checkout button. Now he can check out this thing and he can start working on this. At the same time, that guy can't work on this. He'll be seeing option telling private edit. This rule has been checked out by admin at alpha. Are you guys understanding how you can secure a rule set and how check in and check out works for a user? Able to understand, guys, everyone? For example, if you have to modify some details in an existing rule set, but it is already locked, what can you do? Let us say you want to modify something in agency map activity. How can we do it? What are the ways we can modify any? For example, if I have to add two more steps to this particular activity, how can I do it? Yes. So two ways. One thing is save as this rule to the newer version or a highest version. which is 010102 for us here. Yes or no? If there is a mandate that you have to push in the same version, you can anytime go and unlock the rule set version, do the change, and again lock it back. See, where is my rule set? Alpha auto, yes, here. Go to this rule set version. Come here. Sorry, I don't even need to expand this, I guess. Yeah, I have to expand this. Come here. There is a unlock button. Click on that. The password is usually rules, RULES, rules. In few projects, they maintain something else. So talk to your lead. He will help you understand what will be the password. Submit and save it. Now you will see that come and refresh this rule. You will see a checkout button. Right now, whatever you're having as private edit, you will see a checkout button. Yes or no? Check this out. Add your changes. Check in. Updated. Once you're done, go back to this guy. Lock your rule set. Rules. Submit. Save. Job's over. See, your rule set got locked. This activity also will not show checkout anymore. Now it will only show private edit. What does private edit mean? For example, locally you want to test out some change, but for every change, if you want to verify how your application is working in this particular version, or this activity is working in this particular version, you can make use of this particular rule. And if you want to add any changes which are private, in the sense it won't go and check in, it will be private to your login only. How can you do it? Just click on private edit and it will be local to you only, in the sense for this particular requester session, this user, whoever is it, admin alpha session only, it will be temporary. Open this and you can add my private edit changes. You don't have to check in that. Just save this, run and test your changes. If it is fine, maybe create a new rule set version and add it to it, or open the existing rule set and check in that. Does it make sense, guys? When you will go for private edit? Locally, if you want to test out some rule and you want to add some changes to trace and verify, then you will go for private edit. You want to know what all rules are open or checked out by you, just click on this right icon here. See, in the header bar next to search, there is a blue color right icon. Check on that. You will see these are the rules checked out by you. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? Very important. Today we are understanding how exactly a rule set version can be created, how a version can be added, how you can use that version to create new rules, how you can unlock a existing rule set version and modify existing rule, how you can enable checkout option on rules. In the security tab of your rule set version, you will be able to specify this checkout enablement. We enable this checkout. Now any user, when he is modifying, he is the only user who will be modifying. Why? Because there is a lock getting created whenever the user is trying to access this rule. It is exactly similar to, for example, it is like telling when you go to a cyber cafe, let's say there are two computers. If one guy is already sitting, if both the systems are occupied, does it make sense another person also can occupy? No, right? At one time only one guy should be able to use that system. Yes or no? Okay, So to understand that much better, it is exactly similar to this. I opened my flow. Let me run the case. Whenever a user creates a case and he is going through it, there is a lock which gets created. In the sense, only that user will be able to modify as long as this particular work object is open for him. So now admin created this case and he is having lock on this work object. Why? Because it is open and he is using it here. Let us see what happens when this particular user tries to access it. Sorry, you can access that from app. Just click on work class. See, right now 29th. Open this and this user shouldn't be able to access it. Let if I click go, I should get an error message. See, does it make sense? Pega out of the box, it is giving you this functionality on work objects. The same thing we have enabled for rule sets. Yes or no? We didn't do any change to make sure this is happening. Pega out of the box, it is giving us this option. Do we agree? Whenever two users try to access the same work object, whoever accesses it first, he gets the lock on that work object. He gets a lock on that work object. Whenever any new user tries to access the same work object, he gets this message. It's currently being modified by admin. What does that mean? Admin has a lock on this work object. When will it that get released? When this user closes this work object, then it will be released. When he closed it, now it is released. Now when he goes here, he can just do refresh and go. Is he able to modify? Same thing. If this user is trying to access that work object, he won't be able to access now. Though he created it, he can't access. Why? Because dev user is having lock on that work object. May not be edited simultaneously. Why? Because data gets corrupted. When you try to modify, if two people try to do work on the same work object, the chances of data corruption are too high. That is why you have to explicitly lock that thing. In rule sets, we are doing it by enabling the checkout option on the from the security tab of the rule set. Same thing is already present for your work objects. Are we able to verify that, guys? Yes or no? Perfect. So we can also verify that from database. Whatever we saw right now. We can verify that from the database also. How can we verify that? See, there is a table called PR syslogs. Whenever the user creates a work object, opens a work object, process commander looks in this table, you know, I mean the PRPC looks in this table. If there is any entry available, means that the case is already being worked by someone. Here it captures it. So anytime any new user comes and tries to access it, it will see here, oh, right now this particular work object is being modified by dev at alpha. So it can't give the access to anyone else until unless This guy closes it. Let us say this guy closed it without doing anything. He closed it. Do we see any record here now, guys? Is there any record available here? No, that means there is no lock on that work object. The lock on the work object is gone. Exactly similar thing we have implemented for rule sets also. We have enabled security, and then based on that the user is able to access the rules. And whenever he has to do a change, he has to check it out. When he clicks on checkout, no other user can modify that rule until unless this guy has checked in his details. Does it make sense? Rule set is a container for rules. Very important. Rule set is a container for rules. It has multiple versions. Every version will have rules. Every version we are creating is having rules. The first version which Pega out of the box, whatever it gave, we created all the rules as part of that particular version. Alpha Auto 010101 has all our rules. Going forward, whatever new rules are we are creating will be part of this next version. Next patch version. The last two digits are patch. The middle two digits are minor version. The first two digits are major version. Major, minor, patch. Is it understood, guys? Very good. You can lock these if you don't want this to be modified. Once you have moved to QA, you don't want to touch those rules because that is a pristine code. That code is working and you have verified and you have pushed it to QA. You don't want anyone else to modify it. That is why the developers, they gather together and they set a password to this particular rule set version and they close it. So no one else should be able to modify it. To make sure the copy here as well as in your QA is same. Does it make sense? It should be same. It's like expecting a Amazon package. When they ship, they pack it and send it to you. They don't modify in between. They don't open and eat away something or take away something. The reason for packing is so that the integrity is intact. No one can modify it. No one should be able to modify it. If they do that, the data gets corrupted. That is the reason locking is there here. You shouldn't be modifying it. Once you have done, it's this is good. So the product rule will have all these rules. You move that product rule through a zip, which we saw yesterday, to the next version using the import wizard, which we can find from configure. Configure, application, distribution, import. You can import that in QA. You can import this way in UAT, and you can import this way in prod. Everywhere, same process. Why? Because the underlying product is Pega. It is same across all the environments. Once you learn this thing, it is same everywhere. Packaging, click on package and it will package. Anything will be a rule admin product wrap rule, under which you will get an option to create a product file. You will create it, give your desired name, a zip file will get generated. You will give that zip file to your deployment team. There will be a team who will be working to deploy these changes in higher environments. If they are not there, won't you be able to go into that desired environment if the credentials are given and able to deploy this package? Can you do that, guys? We can do that, right? No challenge here. Very plain and simple is it is as good as importing a picture from your phone to Facebook, from your phone to Instagram. Photo is a file. This product rule becomes a zip file. That is also a file. All you have to do is follow these instructions, go and throw that file there. Follow the process, click there, next, 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 and then you'll be able to see that all the rules have moved. You'll see the progress also. Didn't we do that yesterday, guys? Yes, no. Does any part of this look like coding? We have covered around 34, 35 days as part of this particular training. Which part of this thing seemed like you are doing coding, where you have to remember the language, the syntax? It's workflow design. You should be able to identify a manual hurdle in a given process. What is a manual hurdle? For example, people identified in the banking that coming to the bank and standing and filling challan is a manual hurdle. So they introduced phone pay, they introduced Google Pay. That way, no one is going to the bank and standing in lines. Even on a Sunday night, you are able to do your transactions. All that is expected as part of this particular learning is you should be able to think in that way. When someone comes up to you with a problem, you have to identify how exactly you can automate it using all these rules. These are the tools you will be using to enable such process. Does it make sense, guys? Rule set versioning, application packaging. Is it clear, guys? Perfect. Very good. If that is understood, that's what I was supposed to convey today. You can call it a day.